Hi guys, welcome to Motion Gaming, and boy do I have a good one for you today. I've done what no one else has done for Bloodhunt. I've gone through and tested every single weapon in the game for rate of fire, damage profiles, reload times, and general usability. Stick around because there is a clear winner, but a few surprises along the way. Also, if you guys are interested, I have a Discord server where I have some people who are looking for teammates, so pop in and say hi if you want to hang out or play sometime. I will be doing an in-depth guide for each vampire type soon, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those. Before we start, making this video has taken a long time, and I would appreciate a like if you find this in-depth gun guide helpful. Right, let's jump in. Getting the information for this was painful. I couldn't find anything on the internet to base this on, and I even had to make my own gun list from the in-game menus, because no one has gone this in-depth. Let me explain how I got my information, and then we'll have a look at the charts I made. Most weapons come in a variety of rarities, each giving different bonuses as you upgrade. Every weapon has a reload speed buff. Double pistols, assault rifle, pump action shotgun, LMG, toggleable, marksman, silenced SMG and Tommy gun all receive the same buffs, with increased magazine and a boosted damage range on top. Whereas the sniper and revolver gain recoil recovery and the double barreled shotgun gains a tighter spread. The rate of fire of each weapon was calculated by shooting as many bullets as possible, taking the average time between each shot, and calculating that into rounds per minute and damage per second. I had some inconsistencies while testing, but that's probably due to the fact that I'm recording in 60 FPS, and some of these guns shoot incredibly fast. So bear in mind that some of these figures might not be 100% perfect, but are good enough to give us what we need. The semi-automatic weapons were difficult too. If you try to shoot too fast, it won't count your shots, so we need to find the fastest fire rate and try to stay very slightly below that. Every weapon was calculated with its fastest RPM, with the exception of the crossbow, which can only shoot one bolt before reloading. And the minigun, which I found more useful to give you a real usable fire rate average, which includes some spin-up time and enough bullets to down a few players. Weapon damage was possibly the most difficult to test, with the absence of any private matches, and trying to queue up with someone in the same match was almost impossible. For some reason, enemies don't seem to stand still while you shoot them. Anyway, I managed to get the maximum damage each weapon will do up close, be it to the chest or head. There are no limb or neck modifiers like in some other games. I did struggle to test the shotgun headshots however, just bear in mind that you can theoretically get slightly more damage than what I have here. I calculated the maximum torso damage per second with these two stats, and will be mainly using this to define the best weapons for the game. However, not all weapons are defined by DPS, so I also calculated how many shots to kill for 200 and 250 hit points, and even 200 hit points but including a headshot for a more real representation of the mid-match kill times. These are fairly simple stats, measured in milliseconds, less is better. Damage ranges were near impossible to test, considering there is nothing in-game to measure with, except an average building size, which is way too vague to make any sense. Just remember that all weapons will have a damage range, and past this, they will do less and less damage the further you get from the target. This seems to act smoothly as you get further away, instead of 2 or 3 fixed distances. This means that if you start to see smaller damage numbers while shooting, you are outside your maximum damage range, and will need to get a little bit closer for more damage. Sometimes even just a few meters will help. Picking up rarer variants of your weapon will help with this, but my only tip here is to think logically with your weapon choice. A shotgun will still give you hit markers at 15 meters, but probably won't do any damage. Reload times were easy to calculate, but have given some surprising results. Every weapon in the game, excluding the minigun, will reload faster than the animation on screen. This means that depending on the weapon, you can double or even triple your theoretical reload speed. Times were calculated from the start of a reload animation, and stopped once when you physically have the ammo in the gun and ready to use, and a second time when the on-screen reload animation had stopped. There are multiple ways to cancel a reload animation, but the easiest ones are switching to a different weapon or starting to climb a wall. Reload times get faster the rarer the weapon gets, and I have included both a speed percentage gained from the original green weapon and a percentage from the previous variants in brackets. For the pump action shotgun, I added the time it takes to reload the first shot and the reload for each shot after. This can be useful because if you cancel mid-reload, you will still have gained some shots instead of nothing. I also compared the double-barreled shotgun spread between green and purple, but it seems to be a fairly small difference unless you're using it in the wrong situations. I will leave a link to this chart in the description so you can favourite it or share it if you want. Right, now let's have a look at the important stuff. Again, this took forever to compile, so a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. One thing you might notice is, there is nothing in the game that can one-shot you if you're at full hit points, which means you will always have time to escape or fight back, which is nice. The crossbow is the one exception, but you need a headshot, and for the enemy to chill out on the gas for a second, while they take damage over time. So, unless you're AFK, you should be golden. The double-barreled shotgun actually has the best time to kill potential of all the game, but this requires you to hit 2 solid shots at its maximum fire rate, or it drops down to one of the slowest in the game. It has some real potential if used correctly, and you can always swap to a secondary, or go in with melee weapons if you know the player has low health. The dual crossbows come in a solid second place, but trying to hit 4 or more consecutive hits on a moving player is extremely difficult, and unlikely in most combat situations. They boast the best 250 hit point TTK, but with the condition that you have at least 5 shots in your magazine, which I believe is only on the purple variant. The next fastest killing weapon in the game is the not very silent submachine gun. Again, this would require hitting every shot consecutively, and although the SMG is far more forgiving, the ridiculous rounds per minute will likely have you missing some shots. The main advantage to this weapon is its stupid fast reload speed. Not only can it down you in less than a second, but even the green variant reloads in around half a second, giving you plenty of time to heal or push the next enemy. I expect a lot more people to be using this meta weapon in matches now, so be careful. I will be covering counters to this in an advanced tips guide soon, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. The sniper rifle has the slowest time to kill in the game, but its obvious positive side is that you can do this from a safe area. You'll probably want one of the more rare variants, so you're not reloading all the time, as its reload time is on the slower side, even for the purple variant. The toggleable machine gun and marksman rifle are actually very similar in stats, but would be used very differently. You can use the toggleable as a heavy LMG and suppress your enemies, but the marksman will take a little bit more skill to land your shots at its maximum fire rate, but rarer versions will help with the recoil control. The minigun's TTK isn't the best on the list, but if you are met with multiple enemies, the constant wave of bullets you can send out will mow them down faster than anything else in the game. I wouldn't necessarily suggest using it in solos, as the spin-up time can be slower than the TTK of most other weapons, but it is awesome fun to use. You can only find this weapon in loot crates guarded by the entity hunters. Looking at our reload speeds, there are only 2 weapons with major speed buffs: the pump-action shotgun and the dual pistols, who both gain over 100% speed boost. The golden assault rifle doesn't gain much in speed, and is more useful for the extra ammo and damage range compared to its purple variant. Unsurprisingly, the light machine gun has the slowest reload time with its massive magazine. If you got this far into the video, let me know in the comments. I would love to know how many of you stayed. Some honourable mentions are the starter pistol, which boasts the fastest green weapon reload time, and is only outmatched by the silenced SMG in purple or gold. Not that this will help you much, because its DPS is the lowest of the faster firing weapons, beating only the sniper rifle and the crossbow, which both have a rate of fire less than a tenth of that of the pistols. The revolver is a hidden gem, and landing only one headshot on an enemy will bring its TTK up to one of the most competitive guns in the game. Its major flaw, however, is its small ammo capacity. Missing a single bullet will punish you. This gun will definitely be a love-hate relationship. The silenced SMG and the dual pistols both have a reload speed of around a third of their on-screen animation. Use this information wisely to outsmart your opponents. I will continue to update the spreadsheet as new information comes in, and guns are buffed and nerfed. I really hope that this spreadsheet will be useful to everyone, and I would love any feedback. To summarise, the silenced SMG looks to be the meta weapon, and I would advise running this with either an assault rifle or a light machine gun. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more.